So I'm doing my white wedding in Miami in August.
Oh, I thought you.
So now you heard from Davido that he's going to be doing his white wedding in Miami come August, and a lot of people are really gearing up for that date. At last. Some people they say Choma win at last. She is not that naive girl again. She is not that kind of endurance and all those things. She is the trophy right now. That is something I cannot believe about her. Based on the situation of Choma, on the stories of Choma and Davido, I got to understand that most times when somebody loves you and you love the person, that can really pay off if you are patient enough. That is something I got to understand from the story of Choma, and a lot of people are really talking about this. Who is going to be the pastor for that wedding? That is another question. And some people are saying that Davido's friend may be the pastor. That is a person of Pastor Toby. But I believe that Davido and his family, they have a family church, and the pastor of that church may actually officiate that white wedding or something else. That is one thing I kind of believe about that. Pictures are really flying around on social media. A lot of people are really making their own stories around this. What is your own take about this story? I want you to put your own comment in the comment section. What do you feel about the marriage of Davido and Chioma? When I listened deep to this interview, I got to understand that Davido actually said a lot, and we learned a lot from them, because these guys, they'll be young people, but they actually went through a lot more than the old people in marriage. And then they've been together for 8 years before marriage. That is to show you that Chioma is really the trophy, because a lot of people don't, they call them endurance and other kind of things, and say Choma leave the video and all those things. They went through a lot, lost their son in the process and the rest, but right now it is really paying off. Bought a house in Atlanta. Choma is there and relocated his family. That is the best choice for Davido, and that is really best move for Davido if you want to have a successful family, because in Nigeria it has become a toxic thing. A lot of bloggers want to dig out information about your family. Some they form close friends, but they just want to get the story. We understand the story of Eniola Badmos. When Davido's son died, she really monetized the story just to actually sell her page, and that cost her a relationship with Davido, a friendship with Davido. But you've got to understand that Davido actually made the best move, and that is really better for Choma and Davido. What do you have to say about this? I want you to put your own comment in the comment section. For real, I love how Davido actually projects Nigerian brands out there. He was in I think in US at the time, and then interview actually pop up in the street, and Davido was asked, who is your designer? And then he gave out his designers as ZTTW. Who is ZTTW? That is Zanku to the world. That is Zlatan Ibiles designers. That is something I love about this guy, because he's not really sorry to project you out there if you are a good friend. Let's watch the video so that you get to understand about all of this.
Best clothing store.
ZTTW.
Who are some young Afrobeats?
You heard the video, and he went further to talk about some young Afrobeat artists that we need to actually watch out for, and saying that these guys are really hot right now. But do you quite agree with the video? Let's listen so that you will get to hear his own list.
Artists coming out of Nigeria right now that we need to look up.
Definitely Boy Chase, Morave, Showday,
What's the hotel we got to stay at?
Delboro, definitely the best hotel.
Teach me some Nigerian slang.
The most popular greeting we have in the morning, you go like, how far?
How far?
You ask me how far, I'm like, I did. I'm like, I'm good.
Ask me how far.
How far?
ID.
I did. Yes, swag.
This is really a promotion of Nigerian brands out there. That is something I got to understand from the video. But remember that he came out to say, yes, Nigeria's economy is in shambles. A lot of people actually dry cleaned the video at the time. But you need to understand that when he was being interviewed at that time, he actually spoke from a place of emotion. That is something anybody will say, because the thing where a lot of us they pass through for Nigeria right now, you cannot really tell good of Nigeria to the world. We don't really talk to our politicians. They no want pity for us. According to Tima, I say pity for us. But politicians, they don't want to pity for us. So now we need to cry out. That is something I got to understand about that. What is your own take about this story? I want you to put your own comment in the comment section so that you can have a glimpse at what you feel. This is an incoming banger from Davido and Victoria Monet called Offer Me or Off 5 album. That is something I got to understand. Offer Me. That is really a classic, and Davido actually did a preview of this, and some people are now responding to that. They can't wait anymore for this album to drop called 5, and some people are saying that Davido has done well in promoting this album. Let's catch a glimpse of this so that you get to understand that Davido will not dey play this time around for real. That is something I got to understand. This guy is going to be a banger. This is going to be one of the hottest in that particular album. That is something it's a kind of mixing of Afrobeat and other kind of genre, and this is giving a great vibe. That is something I got to understand right here. Davido, this is going to be so hot. But Davido never preview him and Omaleo. Some people, they say he's keeping the best for the last. That is what a lot of people are saying. What do you have to say about this Davido forthcoming album called 5? That is the 5th album of Davido. What do you have to say about it? I want you to put your own opinion in the comment section so that you can have a glimpse at what you feel. Guys, what are your own thoughts about Davido's forthcoming album? Do you think it's going to be a success? I want you to put your own opinion in the comment section, but based on expectations, I think it's going to be a success. Right now, Davido has not dropped the album, but the album is climbing up Apple chart global. That is really a unique expression of the success of that album. That is something I kind of feel about that. And some people are just talking about streams and the rest. But we need to talk about all of this because Davido got a time bombing album coming. This is going to be banger. This is going to be one of the hardest of Davido's songs right now. But it comes with a lot of transitioning for Davido. I think the 5th album of Davido is going to give a transitioning vibe to Davido's career. That is something I kind of feel about that. This is a hint given by his own manager Asa Asika, and a lot of people are now responding to that. What is your own take? Before I jump off, I want to say thank you guys for watching our videos, and thank you for the love so far. If you are new here, you can click the subscribe button below and the bell notification icon to always get notifications each time we upload our videos.